start with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers?
Katie
Wallen.
Katie Wallen, yeah.
I think Julie Ashton was.
Oh,
Katie
you said the
Wallen.
beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Katie
Katie
Wallen.
Wallen.
And then we all had different people that were instrumental. Like Shuki Levy, who was one of the producers, he came to Australia and cast over there, and that's what he brought me in. So.
We haven't forgiven.
For those of you that have kids or are around kids, do you get recognition a lot from the parents or from the kids when you go to school or anything?
I have two sons. I have a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. And my oldest son likes to tell others that his mother is a Power Ranger. So he could be my age, and I'm like, boy, shush your lips. No, it's interesting. I get asked a lot of questions. It's endearing. It's a blessing. So yeah. A lot of my, I'm in mommy world now, so a lot of the people in my life don't know about this part of my life, and have just recently found out that I was a Power Ranger, and they're like, why didn't you tell me that? I'm like, oh, hi, I'm Kat, I was a Power Ranger. I'm talking about, poopy diapers and stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of funny, because it's so removed from my life, my daily life, to come back and, when people bring it up, it feels very funny to me. But.
My nephew is like 4 years old. I have two. They're both 4, and it's the most hilarious thing because when they kind of figured it out, now I call home and I'm like, hey, and one of them, his name's Jonathan, he's always like, where are your friends? What friends are you talking about? He goes, are you gonna bring your friends when you come to visit? And everything, like instead of saying the color red, everything's Rocky. He goes, I want that one, go Rocky. And it could be anything that's red. He's like, Rocky. He's like in love with Steve. And I'm like, and my friends. That's how I see the first of them.
Actually, one last thing. My son kind of was the luckiest kid in the world, I guess, because he was about 8 or so when the show started, and he'd be on the set, hanging out, and had Rangers chasing him around all the time. So he thought that's the way it was supposed to be. And one quick story about that, we went to a Shacktacular event, and I couldn't go to Mystic Nights in Ireland or something, so he was going to the show. And so his mother points to Shaq and goes, Zach, go say hi to Shaq. Zach goes, no, I'm used to the stars coming up to me.
Way over there?
During the show, I noticed that Tommy and Kimberly had like kind of a thing going on. Did they really have a thing?
I'll give this one. They did, and they had to be put down. That's why they're not here today. Next question.
Gotta make sure they can reproduce.
Right there.
The answer's no.
You guys either like or hate the original Super Sentai shows?
Say that one more time.
The Japanese ones?
Yeah, did you like them or not like them?
We didn't know about them until way after the fact, so I love them. Because of them, we had a show, right?
Yeah, I didn't ever watch them except for the footage I had.
Yeah. They're a lot more violent,
That's what I was
actually.
gonna say. I think I like the thing.
None of it's in English. From the ADR standpoint, when we hated them because, especially the Japanese, they don't have plosives like B's and P's. So it's probably noticed the original readers just going, ay, 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 ay. So they don't make the same mouth movements we make, so it's impossible to write in sync. So that's why people thought it was funny in the beginning, but we couldn't help it. She doesn't make a B or a B or anything.
Didn't one, and this is true, one of the monsters that grew up,
When she got her superpowers, didn't her boobs grow?
Yeah. Minds are always in the gutter.
Take the kids out.
Jasmine, do you have a question? Miss Jasmine.
I do, actually. I wanted to see if you guys had any recollections of any bloopers of any of the fight scenes. Anything that went wrong.
That you can talk about.
We always got like letters from like the network, and they were like, Karen and Amy need Band-Aids. And or we could see their underwear. Or it's like it was just impossible. Like we're in dresses and we're supposed to fight putties, and it was like, so we always had bloopers. We always accidentally hit, the stunt team, and they were like, or they hit us. It was just, we literally would get, like they said, we'd get a scene, and you had to choreograph a fight, you had to shoot it right then, within 10 minutes, so there was always a blooper, always a mistake. It was what it was.
And then in Zio, they started showing the bloopers. So Jason Frank used to love to deliberately cause bloopers.
Right.
He did a lot of things that didn't actually make it to the air because they were a little questionable, but yeah.
And they would always have this, like, I guess, what was it when they would run? They had the camera rolling, and while they rolled the camera, we were supposed to stand still, and we would be like dancing, and then they would go, everybody sat, and we were like, and then we'd go into the scene, and there's actually bloopers on some of the episodes where we're dancing. Like, we'd all bust out and start moving. We're kids.
I was just wondering, for the table, favorite villain or the one that made you laugh the most at how ridiculous it was?
Pachinko machine.
It was like, oh no, it's a giant pachinko machine. Oh no. It's all coming true.
I like Rito because we had so much fun in the studio and just laugh and drive ourselves crazy.
Porky Pig. All the weapons.
I liked Rita, and I liked Lord Zed.
Lord Zed.
Lord Zed. Oh,
I'm not gonna be able to have.
I love that.
I think we have time for one more question before we out here, so that's 5 questions. Wes, you haven't asked one, go ahead.
Walter, what was your opinion between the transition for your role as the Black Ranger between you and Johnny on Bosch?
The question was, what was my opinion about the transfer there? Be nice, be nice. No, you know what, Johnny Bosch, I thought did a great job. You know, as a Black Ranger, of course, it wasn't me. It wasn't me, but no, I mean, I thought for what it was cool. It was cool.
Yes, he is.
Yep.
He is.
All right, well, thank you all for coming down.